let's say one of them is Orthodox, and they go to their parents. Let's say the daughter is Orthodox. How about that? Comes in, and parents are like, absolutely not, unless he converts, right? They just throw the typical crazy, the world is going to end. What did I do wrong? I raised you right. Tantrum that parents do. I'm sorry if any parents are watching. It is what it is. You need people in drama like built in, right? Somewhere just comes out, and next thing you know, it all comes out. Right? It's like, why me? Whatever it be, those things. Sometimes parents don't even care, and everything's fine, right? But let's just say that he must convert. Comes in, and so then the daughter, the fiance, goes back to the guy and says, I really want you to convert. This and that. Lo and behold, do the whole thing, whatever it be. Converts, married, everything like that. Later on, finds out that this was apparently an ultimatum from the parents as well. That sometimes happens, right? The guy's like pretty upset sometimes, usually, but whatever it be, even if that's not the case. The idea that they converted for this person, kind of, in a way, and I guess the best word is compulsion. Kind of, in a way, forced into it. I had to kind of do it just because, whatever it be. Somebody had to give, right? So, compulsion from your parents, whether it be sometimes from the other person, whatever it be. It happens. Is it not a sample situation that you probably heard of? Yeah. Okay, it can go both ways. Or a situation where sometimes the girl, in the Indian way, it's kind of, you always have to convert to whatever the guy is, right? Okay, fair enough. We'll talk about that. But you get the idea, right? These things kind of happen. So, thoughts? What do you think? I mean, for me, I guess we're just growing the church, right? Get another member. Sweet. Good to go. I'm a good priest, right? I got another one. Is that what it is? I mean, what do you guys think? Is it fine? Yes, yes. We're going to be a silent class, seriously. I know you're not quiet. I know you're not quiet.
I'm trying to give other people an opportunity to speak.
Yeah. What do you think? Yay, nay, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What's wrong with it? What's right with it?
Shouldn't people be converted for Jesus for other people?
Okay. So then what would you do in this situation? What would you do?
I don't know, instead of forcing anybody, just asking them if this would be something that they would consider.
Okay.
I don't know, I have a very different.
It's tough. This is where it gets tough for me as a priest.
Because, interdenominationally, when we're all Christians, Jesus.
Are we all basically the same?
It's
Kind of the attitude? Is that pretty much it? So why do we have to convert? Why do I have to do all this stuff? Why do I have to be Marthma? Why do I have to be charismated? I like my Marthma church. I like my basketball team. I want to stick with that. How many times? What's up?
Maybe.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
I think you want to make sure that your household is going to the same church. Like whatever, however, if someone compromises, if someone, I think you should have you guys in front in some way in terms of regarding the core beliefs and like, so for the most part when you do raise your kids, it's not like one day they go to this church, one day like there's really no allegiance. It's just like whatever we feel like.
Yeah.
That way you need some stability, some routine, some set.
Yeah.
But in terms of making one person choose, maybe you guys should both go to both churches and see which one's a better fit, or what you believe more, or maybe there's something you can't compromise, and then you kind of see. But I think you should give both a shot. I don't think it's always the girl converts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though that's always
Fair enough. Anything else? Anybody else? You have an opinion? I saw you smile. Whatever. Don't play pretend like it didn't happen. Whatever it be. Okay, so I understand the issue. My kid came to hear this. No interdenominational. Number 25 more years. Sounds good. She'll never be allowed to watch any of this. But, okay, so when it comes to relationships, it's a tough one. Like, what do you do in a situation where, you know, sometimes people fall in love who are other religions, who are other denominations? You have to deal with the situation. And so what are you going to do? You're going to come up to it and I go through this too, right? Priest comes, what do you do? Why don't you think about it? Otherwise, go get married outside the church. How do I, as a priest, tell somebody to go outside the church and get married, right? That's, what am I doing, right? It becomes an issue. It becomes a big thing. I guess there really is no easy answer when it comes to all this, but some of the things that you said, definitely. I mean, if you don't deal with it at some point when it comes to the issue of marriage, right? Many times people just kind of push off all the decisions, right? So we figure out what we're going to do. How do we appease at least one set of parents or both sets halfway? Which set of parents is nicer and is going to take it better? Usually factors kind of play into all that. And, you know, extended family and all that stuff, whatever it be. And so we kind of run that. But what you're really kind of doing is postponing things. When it comes to conversion, and I would say this comes from like if you're doing Martha to Orthodox, becoming even Muslim to Orthodox, Hindu to Orthodox, Pentecostal to Orthodox, whatever it be. All of those things. Under compulsion from any outside factor is generally not a good idea. Does that make sense? It's really, from the outside, your faith is your faith. This is your faith. This is your personal faith. This isn't a club. This isn't, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, you can have, if you can be, I mean, I don't really mind if you're like compelled to be Indian in certain ways, like let's say it's somebody outside the race or whatever it be, if you're compelled in those general directions, because I don't really care about that kind of stuff, right? But your faith is your faith. Make sense? That is something deeply personal between you and God, right? And it should never be the case where you do something in relation to your faith just for the sake of making other people happy. Does that make sense? Or it's not faith anymore. Does that make sense? It might appease people for the short term and it might be okay. But you have to understand, at some point down the road, this is going to become an issue. You're just postponing it. Whether it be when major things happen in your life, how you do it, whether it be, I mean, the wedding is one thing, right? Usually you want to have, oh, well, we negotiated it so we can have the perfect wedding, exactly what we needed, right? But then you don't think about the Sundays after that. Where are you going to go on Sundays? What are you going to do when you have kids? Are you going to baptize them? Are you not going to do it? What church are you going to do? Those things are there. How am I going to raise my kids? It becomes a big issue when you're presented, you're staring at your kid right there, you're like, what Sunday school am I going to send them to, right? So, I mean, I guess it comes down to all this. And I guess it's probably not the most politically correct answer, but you gotta figure this stuff out. It could be that meeting the person that you're going to marry caused you to go on a journey of faith, to really consider some other things. That's fine. To really think outside of what you're used to. That's a great thing. That's a wonderful thing, but it's still a personal journey. Other people have influence on it here and there. The people you love, the people you meet, the people who interest you. Those things are there. But ultimately, you go down that line. And stuff. So, like you said, a family, in every sense of the word, should be united. Should be put together. You should be able to ask your spouse to pray for you. They should be able to ask you to pray for them. Not just that, your kids. There should be that. There should be that feeling of. I mean, you guys to live that lifestyle, right? So many times people do marry out from outside. Any of your parents marry in? Any of your moms marry in to Orthodoxy? Yeah. So. Did that ever become an issue? I mean, this or that? Was that ever a big deal or anything like that? There's so many parents who are just like, you know, in their heart they're still Martha, in their heart they're still CSI. But they go to Orthodox Church because that's the way things are, right? Or the opposite direction is there. Women who marry to other churches, right? But in their heart of hearts, I probably definitely shouldn't be saying this on tape, but it's become something in Dallas where all the Martha guys are coming and stealing your Orthodox girls. So much so that I was at a Martha Church conference recently and I called them out on it. said, stop, get out of here, we don't want you. It's like, we work really hard on raising our girls to be awesome girls. That doesn't mean you come in and steal. They're like, yeah, we know they're awesome, that's why we're not marry them. Whatever. But let it be. So it's just become a thing. So we're losing all of our girls. We're exporting as far as things go. But the idea is those things are there. And it's funny because the whole way through we'll be like teaching faith, this, and this. And then your parents too. Oh yeah, you're Orthodox. Then when it comes to marriage, it's like, oh, anything is fine, right? CSI, Martha, Pentecostal, I don't know about that. But you know what I'm saying, right? That's the negotiable part. Whereas, your faith, I would hope, should be the non-negotiable kind of thing. Meaning that should be something intensely part of you. I mean, it kind of like, not saying or encouraging, don't come back and tell your parents they're going to shoot me. But, I would tell the younger kids, in a lot of ways, it probably makes more sense to marry somebody who's like Ethiopian Orthodox or Coptic Orthodox or Armenian Orthodox than it does to marry somebody who's Muslim. I'm sorry, and I know that's really weird, but which is first, right? Religion or culture? I mean, your faith or your culture, right? Because if you're Coptic, culture you can blend together. It makes it the most beautiful wedding in the world, right? But your faith and how you do things should come first. If this was Martha Maria Savage, my father wouldn't say this. I should probably would. They'd probably kick me out and never invite me again. But those things are there, right? Faith should be something that drives you and it brings you closer together, and all of those things. Okay. Why can't my best friend, who is Martha, be godfather or godmother for my child? Comes up all the time. I don't understand. They're the best Christian I know. They're good. They're going to do a good job. They're going to raise them in the faith. They're going to teach them all this stuff. Why can't they be the godfather or the godmother of my child? Have you guys ever thought about it? Has it ever come up? I guess it always comes to me, right? You always ask me these questions. What do you do? Why not? Anybody going to venture?
You said not to?
Because I said not to. Because I shouldn't say so.
Yeah, they're those to raising the faith, but they're not
Yeah.
the same faith.
But don't we all believe in Jesus? Isn't it all the same, really? Really, isn't it all the same? Isn't it? Come on. We're all, isn't it? You're a good person. Isn't that all that counts? What do you say? I could probably use some good answers right now. Comes up all the time. Are we all the same?
No.
What's the difference? Why is it such a big deal for us? It's not a big deal to everybody else. But why are we so stubborn about all this stuff? Why are we such a big pain? Orthodox people are a big pain about all this, right? Huh? Yes, no. Do you agree? Are we a big pain? Yeah. We make it real difficult, right? What do you think? Your job to raise them in the faith, yeah. Well, why is it important? Why aren't they all the same? What are differences between the faith?
Communion.
Which most people consider like this. Communion, what do you mean by communion?
Sacraments.
Huh?
The symbolism behind it.
Yeah, we believe it's actually
Yeah.
the body.
Okay, for the other ones, we could probably, say it's all this stuff. We can say, those are there. Those are definitely very, very important parts of everything. But communion is a major one, right? Is it the actual body and blood of Christ? There's no negotiating on that for us. It is. That's what Christ said. This is the body. This is my body. This is my blood. Not this represents. Not this symbolizes. Not this is like. Clearly said, this is my body. This is my blood. And St. Paul backs it up. It's the tradition of the church. All those things are there. So these are things that, for us, it's a big deal. But I hope for you personally it becomes a big deal. Because then when you receive it, you take a bigger, it's much more important for you out of it too. That this is the bread of life, that this is what I need, this is my spiritual nourishment. Without it, I will starve. Without it, I'm hungry. Make sense? I hope you kind of walk into this. Your faith, I hope you engage it, you kind of really dig deep into it. And that becomes important, I think, for your family too. This isn't just things we can kind of just negotiate around, right? I can't just walk into somebody else's church and do all these things. Make sense? It's not like I could walk into another church and just do a baptism or be a godparent for their kid, right? You know what? Technically, this is kind of the kicker. Me as a priest, I can't be a godparent for anybody. Not sticky.
Really?
Yeah, I can.
That's just my guy.
What's it be? Huh?
That's just my guy.
Is he really? That's funny. Technically, it's against canons. It's okay if I wasn't a priest at the moment. If I was whatever. But the issue is he probably was a priest at the moment.
He's like the godfather of like 9.
That's so funny. Technically, canonically, we cannot be godparents because what extra role do I take? You see what I'm saying? What am I doing differently by becoming a godparent? Isn't that my responsibility anyways?
Well, he tells me the whole reason I'm successful because
Well done. But see, the issue is, it's not about he can't do it. It's that he's already doing it anyways, and you need somebody else to jump in and support as well. So it technically, and I know the rule is broken all the time, especially with Dutchins kids and this and that, things like, or grandchildren and stuff. But canonically, technically, we're not allowed to be godparents.
Don't we have a tradition where our grandparents just automatically become, like, that's your godparent?
There is an Indian tradition of that, but there is not a church tradition.
Right, it's not a church thing, but it's more of a Indian and Orthodox thing, because I know like Indian Catholics do that. So
yes, it's become a major thing in us. Like the idea of the grandparents. The funniest thing is that the grandparents are like in India, and they never really interact with the kid, and then you take my godparent is my grandfather. Did he teach me anything of the faith? Probably not. I hope he prayed for me. I'm pretty sure he did, right? Those things are there. But it becomes when you take on the responsibility of being a godparent. I think this is our failure in preparing people for it. As you have to sit down and talk to them and say, listen, these are your responsibilities. Until that child hits the age of like maturity, we don't know what that age, maybe 16, maybe 18, whatever it be. You are responsible for them, raising them in the faith, teaching them stuff. So much so that you'll be held accountable at judgment for them. This is a responsibility that you're taking on. This is a ministry. This is everything. Unfortunately, we just kind of do it like what is it? Your first son, your dad's dad has to be your first daughter, your dad's mom, then your mother, then your mom's father, and all that stuff. We do all those things. It's not. It kind of cheapens it. It doesn't make it meaningful. It's good. If they're involved, if those things are there, if they're really able to do it, and most people I think do take it seriously and they really do pray. Most grandparents pray a lot for their kid, grandchildren, and stuff like that. It's a special relationship. But you want them to be there. Does that make sense? Involved. And so in a way, I would rather you took somebody who was a good friend or somebody like that who was really influenced in the faith. Not just for your kids, but let's say somebody enters into the church, somebody desires to become Orthodox, technically they're to be sponsored by somebody else. Meaning another active member who takes responsibility for them, no matter what the age. So I know Giveri Sechin is godfather for somebody else who's an adult who converted to the faith and things like that. And that's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful relationship to have, right? Somebody you can always pick up the phone and ask for prayer for or whatever it be. See those things are right. Somebody else kind of there. Your parents have a responsibility. The parents of their child or anybody, but they're the ones who are going to be the godfather and the godmother are the ones who are really going to be held accountable for it later. Does that make sense? So it's a really serious ministry. It's really serious things that people should take into account. Stuff like that. So it is. But I think because we don't take it seriously, people want to just have anybody and everybody kind of do these things because it's a nice, symbolic, fun, good event for the family. It's not seen as anything beyond that, right? Stuff. So. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Other issues that come up. Where do you go to church on Sundays? This, that, and the other. They seem like very small things, but I think that over time these things can build up. And the worst possible situation is if the church, because of whatever things have happened, the church kind of comes as like a dividing point between husband and wife. That just ends up being nonsense, right? That just becomes ridiculous. The church is what you draw near to and you come together at, right? That you come, as you draw closer to God, you draw near to each other. You've heard that probably before, right? And so it shouldn't be anything that ever separates you. But it does. It becomes tension, especially if people are forced in or issues arise or this or that. It kind of ends up being that way, right? And that's unfortunately the case, in which kind of, I guess it's a result of sin, things that are there. So when it comes to Sunday school, when it comes to raising them up, doing all these things, we have these interdenominational issues and stuff that are, I guess we're kind of non-negotiable about it. And this is the way things are. Okay. Any questions on any of this stuff? Are we all right right now? We okay? I know these are sensitive issues in a way. And I guess the issue comes up. Is it wrong to fall in love with somebody who is of another faith or is that a sin? And I guess it gets tough. How do you really call it a sin if you do that? What do you do in that situation? I can't sit there and be like, it's a sinful act, caring about somebody else, wanting to, get married and whatever it be. And I can't say that that's the case, right? But it's a challenge that you're going to have to deal with about that, right?
It doesn't St. Paul talk about it as well, that if you marry someone outside of faith, you still continue to live in your faith, that they will.
So technically what St.
They'll see something,
You're right, but there's a little technicality. So what he says actually is, it's not if you marry somebody, it's if in your marriage one spouse converts to Christianity. If you're already married, and one of the husband or the wife converts to Christianity, the other does not. The question arose, should they get divorced? And he says no. The one spouse who is Christian sanctifies the other in a very real way, but at the same time sanctifies the others, does not save the other, sanctifies the other, and hopefully over time, by their Christian love, things will, whatever. Okay? So it's a little bit of a difference. Does that make sense? Because you're not entering into the marriage, you are. Is it a sin to leave the Orthodox Church? If you think of sin in the sense of, yes, how about that?
Okay, so what if you marry, and you leave the church, but you still believe in the faith of the Orthodox Church? Could you leave
If you
because
believe
we're all
in it.
XYZ
Because of outside compulsion.
Yeah, well, you're the girl, you're expected to.
So the rule about girls having to marry into the other one, again, another Indian cultural thing that is there. I'm violently opposed to that. That does not make sense to me, especially if you have a situation where sometimes the case happens where the girl is very passionate about her faith, whatever it be, and the guy may not be, right? A situation arose where, not for me, this was taught to me, where in another church, this is exactly what happened. And I think it was actually the guy was a very, very religious guy, Catholic person, very devout, like go to church all the time, very, very, very devout. So they come to the church, and the priest who'd been there for a good number of years has never met the girl. She's Orthodox, but her family is Orthodox, quote unquote. But she hasn't come to church in all this time there, right? So he's meeting her for the first time when they come for this marriage thing. So yeah, he needs to convert. We know an Orthodox wedding, we want to schedule it here and there. So talk to them, very pastorally and stuff. He ended up being one of my professors, and he figures out the guy is a really religious guy, and he says, you know what? I really don't understand why you guys are getting married in the Orthodox Church. You seem very passionate about your faith. So when it comes down to it, I think on a given Sunday, it's more likely that he drags you to church than you drag him to church here. So I just really think for your salvation, I still think Orthodoxy is correct. I believe in it, it is the truth and all of these things. But I think you as a couple stand a better chance of reaching the kingdom if he's leading you and not you who I've never met before leading him, right? So lo and behold, a little bit of time passes, and boom, girl's father comes in just screaming bloody murder. I've been a member of this church for 40 some years, whatever it be, the typical rants, this, that, the opens a lawsuit, this, that, and the other. The ridiculous stuff. But you get the idea, right? This happens. This is a very real situation. I would agree with that. I would agree. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I believe in Orthodoxy. I believe that this is fundamentally the truth in every way. I mean, Roman Catholicism is such a, there's such a close relationship there. But at the same time, I believe that this is there. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out, you as a family, what's best for the salvation of your family, where you're going to walk and what you're going to do. Make sense? You have to make that decision to go with it. So whatever it is, and this situation has arisen in my own family, things like this, whatever it be. And you just gotta. I think we should stand on the side of truth and just common sense more than just doing things for the sake of doing things. I think there's nothing worse than two people coming into the church and receiving a sacrament that they don't believe in. Does that make sense? I mean, I take it seriously, so I would want the people coming in to take it seriously as well. Does that make sense? Otherwise, what is it? Is it possible? Can I magically transfer that grace onto them? No, you know. The same situation comes when you come for absolution. You know, I can pray the prayer over you for absolution, but ultimately, if you don't come with a repentant heart, it's not. This isn't Harry Potter. This isn't, you know, abracadabra, boom, you're done, you're out. I mean, there's an element of, you know what. Grace is there. It's given to you not because you deserve it. There's an element of that in there. They receive grace even if they don't believe it, whatever. They receive it to an extent. But you can't just take it for granted and just say that all these things are automatic, right? So I'd rather two people came in. I should not rather. I would require two people to come in and take it very seriously. And this be a major beginning of their life, right? Even a baptism. I would want this to be a beginning of a Christian life. Or any sacrament that we do, a funeral, whatever it be, right? It has to be that way. I guess a good way to gauge it is, if the one you're converting over to, the religion, whatever you're converting over to, if God forbid your spouse passes away one day, meaning, let's say somebody converts to the Orthodox Church or you convert to another church, right? That other person passes away, would you still continue in that same church? Does that make sense? Or do you go back? I think that's a good litmus test to see where your heart really is. Make sense? What do you guys think? There are challenges. We have to admit that there are challenges. If you marry, even if you marry outside the culture, it'd be dumb not to say that there's not going to be challenges, right? You know, the way, the food you eat, what you do, how you live your life, and those are things. But with enough, I think, you know, working through it, enough like patience, enough all these things, all these challenges can be overcome. But it is what it is. Sound good? It's very hard.
So, sorry.
Yes.
So what I've heard from the story that you just said, where they were saying you don't ever come to the Orthodox Church, so after you get married, you're never going to come here. So it's better if you go to the
Yes.
Catholic Church, salvation there, right? It implies in my head that salvation is possible in other denominations. Yes, not just the Orthodox Church.
Okay.
It's
Salvation
just-
can happen to anybody.
It's just the
Salvation.
particulars of our church, the traditions.
No. No. Okay, let's not make it a tradition versus.
But what I got from the story was, here's these two people, they're going to have an Orthodox marriage. Well, the girl obviously doesn't have strong faith. And then the guy doesn't have a strong faith, but they're doing it because there's like, well, we were told we need to have an Orthodox wedding. So what's the point of getting married in the Orthodox Church if you don't believe in any of the foundations of the Orthodox Church?
I agree.
Yeah.
But she's saying, because I did
Yeah.
say, you stand a better chance of salvation by being religiously going to the Catholic Church. Okay.
Because then I'm like, okay, so then same thing, not just Catholic, but any of the other denominations that people
How about this?
might go into.
The approach we're coming at it then is, God, what do I need to do to get into the kingdom of heaven? Right? You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with this. But the issue is, okay, what's negotiable, what's not negotiable. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I'm taking it to an extreme. I know you didn't mean it this way, but I'm pushing it just to get the point. So it's kind of like, what do I need to do? Like, can I drop this and still make it? And not just this issue, but I think we do this in our head with everything. God, can I get away with, partying it up a little bit? Is that enough? Is that negotiable? Is that all right? and then I can still make it in, right? Can I get away with, every once in a while, whatever? You see what I'm saying? And I think you can do that with anything, with anything in your life, right? What is the minimum that I gotta do to but still scrape by and make it, right? We're okay. It's our nature to kind of do things like that. We negotiate things down, whatever it be, but that's just not the way God sees it. You don't ever do things in the sense of, I want you to believe something because it's true. We submit to truth. It is either true or it's not true, right? And so when it comes down to it, there might be a lot of advantages to going to another church, whatever it be. There might be many, many, many other advantages, ministry-wise, this or that. But it comes down to truth. And I think C.S. Lewis really hits that really well. So, if you read any of his books, it's you believe it because it's true, and you follow it because it's true. No matter how difficult, no matter how painful, no matter how whatever it is, whatever the other issues are, it doesn't matter. You just believe it because it's true, and I submit to it because it's true. So in your heart of hearts, if you know orthodoxy is actually true, and all these things, you can't turn away and turn your back on it and walk away. Does that make sense?
You're saying that's the
not orthodoxy as like the tradition and all these things, but the faith, what it is, all these things that are there. That's what it is. I'm sorry.
No. But I guess back to your situation, she didn't believe. I'm just assuming, she didn't believe that orthodoxy was the truth. Like, she didn't think it was. She could negotiate it away.
Yes.
So in that sense,
is it better to have 99% of the truth and 1% off?
Yeah,
yes.
or she was like you said, lukewarm, whereas he was on fire in the Catholic Church.
Yes.
So in that situation, they'd be more successful in a faith that he was willing to lead her through.
Yeah.
Instead of her, none of them just able to go to church every Sunday and not really,
or not even
going to church.
So was that your question though? I think you were saying more like, she's asking is salvation possible in a different church? That's what you were asking, right?
Like, if it is, then, any one of us that converts to another religion, or I'm sorry, another denomination, not another religion, no. Another denomination, let's be real. Another denomination that we could, if we could still be okay.
Well, I think it's like I speak Catholic Church.
Okay. The issue is, when you leave the Orthodox Church, it's not like, okay, have a good time in hell. That's not the issue. Do you want a letter? Do you want a covenant? That's obviously never going to be the situation. But it's just a matter of, I think you have to look at it from an honest perspective. And I know it seems like now also
then I'm like, what's the issue then?
Huh?
Like, what's the issue then? So then what's the issue with going to another church then?
I think it's more of a situation by situation basis. That's a particular situation.
There was a particular situation.
Because I've said it this way, it can go the other way.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're saying. But
like
when it
same
comes
thing
to
for like other people coming to our church. Like I don't know if I want to say like if the guy converts and comes to the church with me, does that mean that his faith was weak? And if I go to a different church, does that mean that my faith was weak? You know what I mean? Like
no. I think two people need to sit down and really just talk it over and say, where are we going to be in our faith? How are we going to live our life? And I guess an issue should come up, and that when you sit down and really talk about it, your decisions should be based upon faith and belief, and not, but literally core issues of belief. Like, what do you think about communion? Is it the body and blood of Christ? Is it not? These things should be there. Not which church is more accessible for me, which church is more entertaining, whatever it be. Because that's never a guide for truth. And then I'm going to be really provocative. You're going to hate me after I say this statement. But it is a quote from a church father. This is true. This is technically there, and whatever it be, and I apologize. There's no he cannot have God as his father who does not also have the church as his mother.
But can that church be a definition be a broad?
No.
As just Orthodox?
Because he's talking about a situation where you have people who are lapsing in the faith and follow it. He's talking about a situation where people are leaving for other, I guess in that time, in that ancient time, it was issues of heresy and other things. But in that perspective, because the Marthema refusal to say Theotokos, and also the refusal to acknowledge that there's a body and blood of Christ, would have been considered on par. Does that make sense? The same thing. He who cannot have God as his father does not have the church as his mother.
Then could also the church also be specific to other Orthodox churches then?
The church, yeah, it includes all
No, but-
Orthodox churches.
So, like, we're not in the same, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, the same communion as, say, like the Ethiopian church or something like that. Or, like,
We are Ethiopian.
or Armenian or whatever, something different.
The Greek.
No, like the Greek church, okay?
Throw them all on there.
So, like, the Greek church, there's some small canon that we didn't agree with them on, right? So then, like, we shouldn't, correct me if I'm wrong, we shouldn't take communion from their church or something like that, right? Or something like that?
Okay, because of recent dialogues, you could. Yeah, there is an issue of the faith there. There is an issue of the faith with them. We have to talk about it. But I think it comes down to yeah, the church is all who are in communion with the church. The idea is it's an issue of truth. Can somebody be saved, live a life, pious life, in another denomination and still be saved at the end of days, right? And I know I said the provocative one, but I'm going to bring it back now a little bit. And yes, but they're saved. Understand it. It's kind of seen as though they did not partake of the communion of the church in their life, especially in the case of the martyrs and this and that. It's literally, it's been described as in their death, they're baptized into the Orthodox. When I say Orthodox, I'm talking about truth. What I'm saying is what they would consider, the ancient church would never call itself the Orthodox Church. It called itself the church. That's it. There's no qualifier. There's no denominationalism, this, that, whatever. Denominationalism is a sin. In our perspective, it is a sin. It is not, it's a heresy, it doesn't make sense for us. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either truth or it's not true. There's just no getting around it, okay? This idea that we can kind of pretend to all be coexisting and be divided does not make sense, okay? So again, I'm kind of tempering it and bringing it back a little bit. But again, salvation comes through the church to any number. Does that make sense? Okay. I know that was probably provocative. I know people are probably like, yeah, man, that shit's crazy. Since he grew that beard, he came a little bit. He went over the edge a little bit. He became a fundamentalist. But it's there. We have to deal with it.
I have a really weird question. So say, for instance, you decide to marry someone who is Marthoma, but y'all had a Marthoma wedding. But then later on down the road, like after the wedding and everything, you decided, you know what, I want to go back to Orthodoxy because I decided I want to raise my kids in the Orthodox faith and everything like that. How does the church look at situations like that? Because I know marriage is a sacrament. So, I mean, what would you do in, like, has that happened before?
Receive a sacrament outside of the church, whether it be a Hindu sacrament, whether it be any sacrament outside of the church. You leave communion with the church. Does that make sense? Because I've received it from somebody else, and I've entered in communion with them. And I'm no longer in communion with the Orthodox Church. Can you be received back? Yes. But this shouldn't be abused. Like this is where it can become very legalistic. Okay, I'm going to have the wedding. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to wait a couple months, and I'm going to come back. I'm get back into Sunday school and teach this or whatever. Just don't treat it like a joke. That's all it is, right? You know, so where's your heart? Where's all these things? And I think these things just kind of should be talked about and figured out. But then the issue arises: if you come back, your spouse is still marking it, right?
Well, I mean, what if they decide, okay, I think...
Oh, the whole family comes back?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we got no problems with that. We'll take that.
Bring the whole
Meaning if it's a genuine journey of faith, and people are, genuinely doing these things. There's no whatever, ulterior motives or this or that. But yeah, of course.
Okay, then what about if it's like...
And you wouldn't have to be rebaptized or anything.
Okay, so what if it's like the spouse decides, okay, I would just want to go to my church, but you and the kids can go do whatever.
I think that happens a lot. Are we doing okay in time?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That happens a lot. Spouses split. that's usually not an issue till kids come in the picture, and then it's like, okay, which one do the kids go with? Again, you're starting tensions. You're starting to kind of, like a church is a family, you know, you're actually, literally, your family is a church in itself. What prayers do you do when you're home? An expectation of Orthodox Christians, if you go to the Orthodox Family Life Seminar, you'll hear all this, or utility belt, is, you know, as a family, you should be doing prayer. You should have a disciplined prayer life as a family, as an individual, all these things. It should be a major part of your life, right? So these things should dominate, right? So all the things that you do, it should all be one package deal that you kind of do, right? Don't just pick and choose little pieces and do all that. It is what it is. Does that make sense?
I don't know if it's something similar like Portuguese, you know, it's more
No,
like-
Portuguese is the exact same thing.
Yeah. It's just
That's the exact same thing.
thing.
That's the exact same faith. Go for it. Have fun. I can't do the wedding, but obviously, us Orthodox clergy, we can't do the wedding. They can come into ours, but we can't go there. So hopefully it'll be resolved within a little bit. But the same thing. You're not abandoning your faith when you join the Syrian Orthodox, the Ethiopian, the Coptic, whatever it
You
be.
can still have community law now.
Yes. Yes. But if your spouse marries into our church, they might not be welcome back. I'm just being honest with you. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You just need to figure that out.
So if I went to Boston Church, they would give you Qurbana.
Huh?
They would give you Qurbana to go to Boston Church.
If I went there, I definitely would not get Qurbana. If you went there, they might.
And I have
Depends on the
both
hour.
Orthodox Syrian churches.
I'm just they tell you to take the shirt off. And then no, but it depends. It depends on the situation, how militant people are.
But I went to
It's the
Eastern
same faith.
Eastern Orthodox Church, they take Qurbana for.
Yeah. Yeah, but they usually do this message.
How about taking Holy Communion in a Catholic church? And vice versa.
The Catholic Church would say, yes, you can do that. But we would say you cannot. Meaning they would allow an Orthodox person to receive communion there. But implicitly by doing that, you are becoming Catholic. This happened when I was a kid. Because we didn't have, there was a situation where we didn't have church representing. And so the families would go to this Catholic church on the other days. And then the families would all our Orthodox families would just line up and go get communion. And I was just like, and I didn't realize till later what was wrong with that. Because in that moment, you're switching sides over and over. I'm Catholic, I just joined Catholic. When you receive the communion, you enter communion with the Catholic Church. And then the next week, I go to the Orthodox Church and I receive communion there, and I just switched over there. You see what I'm saying? The two churches are not in communion with one another. Does that make sense? And I know it really stinks, but you have to deal with the reality that is there, right? It's there. If it wasn't there, we wouldn't have this issue. If there was no difference, it would be wonderful. And you can say it should be, it should be this, should be that, but that should just be more motivation for us to reconcile those beliefs and figure that stuff out. But no. How about this? I think the best thing to do in any situation. Hi, how are you? But I think the best thing for every family, I think it's just you pick one and you go all out. Does that make sense? It's better to pick one and go all out than to pick two and halfway. Does that make sense? So just go all out and just let it be at that. I think it's fun. We can talk doctrinally about the issues between Catholicism and Orthodoxy. But it's just
Kind of going off of her, I guess it was a conversation before, but if our belief is that it's the living body and blood of Christ that we receive, like, don't we carry that belief with us anywhere? Like, would we, like when we receive communion at a Catholic church, the bread and wine is still the blood and body of Christ. But the
I believe that
people,
too. That is not a difference between us. You're right.
Same.
That's the same. That is a similar. We believe the same thing on that issue. The issue of the Catholic
Okay,
Church
but
is-
like I guess you're saying other church. I've never taken
Doesn't, is this story, I feel like it'd be different if it had been like a Marvel church, because there's a fundamental difference between
Yeah.
Qurbana. Like, they don't believe that Qurbana is
the blood
body.
and body.
So like, if you took it from, that priest is not saying, I'm giving you the body of blood. He's just
You
giving
can't-
a symbol.
How about this? I know, and I see what you're saying, because you're
But
saying in
like-
my heart I believe it's
Because this is the blood and body of Christ, where I'm receiving it physically or geographically in the earth. Does that make a difference to?
Yes, because you're in communion with all the people that you're with. It's not an individual relationship. I mean, we have an individual relationship with God, but in the church is meant to be a community. Like Tiffany said, we're meant to be in fellowship with one another. We were in communion with the people you worship with. You believe the same things that they believe. It's not just an individual act of me going up and receiving it. And if I take it as that and I believe it to be that way, that's not the issue. Does that make sense? And your belief needs to find expression. It can't just be there as on its own existing as that. You have to live that belief out and express it in what you do. Does that make sense? So if I believe it to be true, I need to practice it. If I believe in my heart of hearts that this is true, I have to practice it. Does that make sense? And it comes down to this. If you're at church, a Protestant church, and let's say you went up to receive the communion, and for some reason it fell on the ground, what would you do? According to the faith of the church, that Protestant church, they could pick it up and throw it away and not feel bad about it, right? But what would you do?
Would we have to pick it up in our
Yeah, what would you do? You'd jump on the ground. But would you feel the need to do that? I would. I would hope so. Does that make sense? That's the body of blood of Christ, right? Whatever it be, right? And it has to be. This has to be critical to you. Now, if it's the person in front of you and it happened and it fell on the ground, would your heart not be crushed when they picked it up and threw it in the trash? Would you? Would it not be? How can you worship? How can you stand in that church and do that? Do what you do every week. Does that make sense? No matter how good whatever everything else is, how is that not fundamental to how you believe in what you do? Make sense? It becomes a big deal. At some point, it's going to become a big deal. Make sense? Are we right? Any other questions? Any other things? I know I've kind of come across as very arrogant in the sense of just orthodoxy, throwing it over your head. This is right, everybody else is wrong. I understand that, it's true. But let it be. But at some point, there has to be a truth. There has to be a truth. We can't just say that it's all relative, right? There has to. We have to, I think, go to the apologetics session. There is a truth. There has to be a truth. And I think we're all on a journey. We're all trying to figure it out. And we have to submit to that truth as we find it. And just follow after that with our whole heart. Only if you do that passionately in every way. Do you ever stand a chance of reaching the kingdom of God? Does that make sense? So, I didn't see anything on marriage. Yeah. Oh, you want bubbles?
Yeah.
Okay, good. See. You want to see bubbles? Great. That's hilarious. So, it is what it is. Okay. So, I know there are very specific situations. I know a lot of things I've said have been very general. I know when it comes down to very specific situations, all of those things need to be dealt with on an individual basis. You need to sit down, you need to talk to a priest, you need to talk to a bishop. There are 2 bishops here if you want to talk to them. Just grab them over lunch and just talk individually about whatever specific issues you have. And a very specific thing for your situation will be resolved. Does that make sense? Let it be at that, okay?